At the time of filming this video, my left ear is feeling freaking blocked right now. It's like as if there's either some kind of infection going on or it's clogged by something. Whatever it is, I need some support for my ears. And hey, the real question here is, will Whislash support your account? Let's talk about that in today's video.
ああ、ここがロドスね。ウィスラッシュのゾフィア、そう呼んでちょうだい。カジミエーシュの元競技騎士として、君たちの社員をしっかり鍛え上げてあげるわ。
I'll begin with the background of Whislash and also a talent. Whislash is an instructor, or in other words, you can call it a support guard. Such operators are there in order to provide buffs onto other operators, and sometimes it could be even everyone on the map as well. Now let's look at the stats of Whislash first. In terms of her HP, it's kind of normal, nothing too high. Attack, it's a little bit up there as the base attack. And for defense, it's impressive actually for a guard, because that amount of defense is about the same as some of the 3-star defenders at Max Elite 1. Although we're comparing an E250 Whislash together with those defenders. In terms of cost, it's quite sweet, and block count too, that could come in handy as well. ASPD, even though it says average, but Whislash can feel like she kind of attacks quite quickly. So that's that for her base stats. Now in terms of the talent, it states that she can attack enemies from range, and when she's attacking enemies not blocked by herself, her attack will be increased to 120%. So the benefit here is that for support guards, if you notice their range, they have like 2 tiles in front. So a normal thing that you want to do is to place an operator in front of Whislash, for example, so that she can always have the attack up buff onto herself. And let's look at the talent that she has. All melee allies with 3 or more block count can gain plus 8 ASPD and plus 14% defense. So this is quite a sweet buff onto, say, some of the defenders and AoE guards as well. So I'll try my best to show you the application of this in just a little while. Alright, and the last thing that I want to mention with regards to the background is that if you want to get yourself a Whislash, you can get her from the Mariano event. If you missed that as a new player, don't worry, she'll enter record restore at some point in time in the game as soon as possible. Alright, so let's begin off by introducing her skill 1. Alright, this stage that I'm showing right here for skill 1 showcase is 718. Now I haven't placed Whislash yet, so that I can show you guys what happens with and without Whislash. So in this case, I'm going to activate Paramedic skill, I'm going to activate Shemez skill, and we can see the amount of damage that's being dealt onto Patriot there. Now let's see if we manage to kill him in this skill use. There's a little bit of health left on Patriot. And let's just put an example that this is not the strategy I want, I don't want Patriot to be standing right there. I wish that he's killed on the tile that's to the right before he even walks by. So let me show you what happens when I add Whislash in the stage. Alright, now I've returned back to 718, and I want you to observe something about Blaze over here. So look at how she's attacking this particular art stealer. Alright, you notice the speed of how she's attacking. Now let's place Whislash in the stage. And look at Blaze again. You can kind of see that she's attacking noticeably faster. Recall that Whislash has a talent that states that she's able to buff the ASPD and defense of those operators who have 3 or more block count, which is why Blaze is attacking faster in this case. Alright, now I'm gonna read Whislash skill 1 this time because this is the main part of the showcase. So, it says that talent effect increases to 2.7, so 2.7 times of a multiplier, and melee operators with less than 3 block count gain half the effect. So if I have the skill on right now, Taunts, who have a block count of 2, is also going to gain a bit of an ASPD increase. At a 2.7 multiplier, this is skill rank 7 by the way, the ASPD increase will be about, I believe it's 27% of an ASPD, and the defense increase can go all the way up until, I think it would be a little bit over 30, around 35%. So the actual numbers are going to show up on the screen in a bit. Alright, now let's see how we can handle Patriot here. So I'm going to activate Paramedic skill, I'm going to activate Shemez skill, and let's activate Whislash skill as well. And we can see that Taunts and Blaze are attacking a lot faster onto the stage, and it's helping to kill Patriot at the tile that I want him to go down. So this can be very helpful in certain situations where that little bit of ASPD increase might help you out a lot. Now remember, even though yes, Whislash buffs ASPD and all, she only helps melee operator. So no point that I activate a skill is not going to make Telopsis heal much faster in this case. Alright, I'll test you later on, so remember this detail that she only buffs your melee squads. And for first skill, there isn't really an attack increase going on for her, so she's gonna lead those parachuters. Let's move on to her skill 2 to show you what it does. Alright, welcome to the next stage. This is stage S36 and I'm gonna showcase Whislash skill 2 via here. Now this is the stage that you actually have to play if you want to unlock Whislash module. So let's take a look at her skill 2. Her skill 2 reads that the talent effect is increased to 1.7, so she's still buffing all the melee operators with 3 or more block count, although it's by a much smaller amount compared to the skill 1. Her own attack is increased by 35%. She's going to get an increase in attack range, so 1 tile ahead of her. Her block count is increased by 1, and she's able to attack all block targets. Essentially, she becomes a AoE guard, able to attack 3 people at one go. So we're gonna find a particular moment where we think that her skill is gonna be useful. So right now you can see there's like a lot of mobs coming in, but she's still handling it just fine. But all of a sudden, she's gonna be swarmed by quite a lot of slugs over here. So I think this is a good moment. We're gonna use her skill, and you can see her do quite a bit of cleanup work onto the lane right over there. Her attack is 859, and yeah, you can see that she's piercing through all of these enemies who generally have a low defense. So there's different use cases of skill 1 and skill 2. Skill 1 is going to be more for if, let's say, you don't care about Whislash attacking very hard and all that sort of thing, you just want to buff the general ASPD of everyone. But skill 2 is when you want her to deal a lot of damage, whether it's just for her own sake, because right now she's solo DPSing, the only operator to deal a lot of damage on this map, even though Zarya is impressive as well. Or if, let's say, you want to place Whislash, let's say in this current position, you place someone in front of her, and then those double people, they'll support the lane, they'll do double the damage over there. So different use cases of the 2 skills, but I like them both. I do have a discredit for skill 2. I don't like how long it takes to charge it. It's currently at 64 on skill rank 7. If you do it at M3, it's gonna be 60 seconds, but 60 seconds for a skill that doesn't actually last for too long is 22 seconds, and the attack buff is not the highest. Yeah, I have some questions towards that as well. I do enjoy a skill 1 much more, but then again, yeah, there may be times where I'll say it's the perfect time to bring skill 2, just like in this particular stage. Alright, that's that to mention of a skill. Let's now talk about her module. Alright, welcome to OF5. Let's talk about Whislash module over here. Now, Whislash trait states that she is able to increase her attack from enemies that's not blocked by herself to 120%. But with the module, that 120% is increased to 130%, meaning to say that she's going to deal a much higher damage onto the enemies. As you see over here, even for a big burly defender guy like this person, although his defense is generally low, Whislash is doing very well against him. I would say that this module, it also gives extra attack and defense, by the way, but in terms of skill 1 and skill 2 compatibility, I feel like it benefits skill 2 a lot more because skill 2 increases her attack, and with that pairing of that 130% increase in attack on her trait, I would say that it's very significant right over here. So this is good stuff on Whislash, very simple module to understand, but let's go and take a look at some little extra tips that I have for you guys. Now this stage right here is the next stage, which is OF6, I believe, and I'm doing a bit of a showcase between Whislash and Palas because I feel like people are going to make comparisons about Whislash skill 2 and Palas skill 3 because they're quite similar in nature. So what I mean by the similarity is that if you look at Palas skill 3, it increases her attack to a high amount, and at the same time, she's able to attack 2 additional targets, which is similar to Whislash, where she attacks the same amount as her block count, and she's also able to attack 3 targets, just like Palas. But there are some little differences that will explain when you're supposed to use Whislash and when you use Palas. So if you know for Whislash is able to buff the ASPD and also the defense of the operators for those with 3 or more block count. Whereas for Palas doesn't do something like that. Palas buffs a particular ally with the effect of Vigor. So if you read on her skill tree, it states that for the ally melee operator in front of a tile, if she activates a skill tree, she'll grant them the following effect, which is a Vigor effect. So for example, if I activate it now, Zarya is able to gain increased attack when her HP is above 80%, and the defense will be increased, the block count will also be increased. Now if there wasn't a Zarya over there, then she's going to give the effect onto herself, which is very beneficial because both Whislash skill 2 and Palas skill 3, it makes them very DPS operators, meaning to say that they can hurt the enemies a lot more. And Whislash is, not Whislash, but Palas is also able to self-heal. So if you look over here, Whislash, however, there's also another significant difference. So as far as she's becoming an AoE operator, because she can attack multiple targets at the same time, she's also able to have that increased range. So if I turn this on right now, you can see that she can reach over and hit to support more damage onto my Roxanne. And then in the case of Palas, I'm just going to use her skill once I see some enemy come in, so there's no Saria there now. Is there any more enemy? Yeah, so if I do something like this, you see, there's no increased range, but once the people get onto her side, then she's able to deal a very high amount of damage. If I look at this level 90 Palas, it's gone all the way up until 198. 1980, not 198. So, different use cases basically for these two skills. If you want to buff just one ally in front of Palas to get that increase in attack, then this is when she's viable. In the case of Whislash, if you want just that general ASPD increase onto some of the allies on the map, then that's when you want to use her. So take note of that when you're assessing between these two operators. Now, before I end off this showcase, I want to talk about some operators who are compatible together with Whislash, meaning to say that if you pair them all together, you can see a bigger amount of benefit that enters your squad. So if you look over here in this showcase, you can see that I placed some operators who have 3 or more block count, such as Mudrock, you've got Blaze over there, and Spectre. So all of these operators, they're enjoying the increase in ASPD that Whislash provides, and also getting the increase in defense to sustain their lane even more. Now, depending on which skill you're using on Whislash, there's gonna be different kind of help that she provides. So if you're gonna use skill 2, she's able to give more damage onto the lane that she's supporting. Like in this case, if I was using Whislash skill 2, she's gonna add more damage to help out with Blaze to quicken the killing there. But if you use Whislash skill 1, then you're able to give even more ASPD onto all of the operators that you're brought into the stage that have 3 or more block count, further increasing their ASPD even more, so you can see them attacking much faster than before. And also, it can also help to increase the ASPD of those allies who have like a much faster attacking speed kind of skill. Wait, I'm testing you over there. Do you think that it will help to buff Telopsis? It doesn't. Remember that her skill helps only melee operators. So if you want someone like Tones, for example, who doesn't have 3 or more block count, yes, he'll get increased ASPD, not Telopsis over here, alright? So that's that. Interesting tips to share with you guys. Let's summarize everything about Whislash. Now, ending the assessment for Whislash, should you be building Whislash in your account? Now, my judgment over here is that Whislash is a support role, meaning to say that she's supposed to buff the squad that you have already built. If let's say you're someone who's new in the game, or you're somewhere in the middle of the game, you don't have an established squad that has like a lot of damage going on, I wouldn't say that you should build Whislash first, you know, because Whislash is supposed to help out everybody. But if everybody else is weak and she's the strongest one, it's going to be a little bit odd of a build per se. So it's, to me, she's someone that you'll probably have later towards the game when you've realized that, you know, you've built like say a lot of the 5 stars and 6 stars that you want. Later on you can think, hey, wouldn't it be nice if like these strong operators I have that increase in attack speed? That's when you consider bringing her in so that you can enjoy either her skill 1 or her skill 2. For most of the players, you don't exactly need a Whislash so early on in the game. Even later on, when you're talking about wanting a support role in your account, there's quite a lot of people who will choose to fall back on other operators instead, like Suzerain, you got Shamay, you got Premonix, who can lower the defense or buff the damage dealing across all the operators even more. So yeah, it's really for your consideration. I like her because she's a fun operator. I think seeing something like attack even faster in the game is eye-appealing, I would say. It's not exactly gonna be impressive on the damage, but it feels nicer to look at, say, my Tones or my Blaze just attacking much faster. You know, I want to test her out. I want to bring her into integrated strategies to see whether there are some of those artifacts that can kind of like complement her quite a bit. But if not, that's as far that I can talk about for Whislash. I mean, some of you might not even be building her because of like the idea of whether she helps your squad or not. Some of you might even like the fact that she has a beautiful E2, or for her skin as well. She does have a beautiful skin right over here. So I shall leave it up to you guys to decide for yourself. Anyways, that's that for today's Operator Showcase. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this one, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Alright, bye everyone.